Hello all, Thief Mecca here giving you an anime review. A lot of you are currently under quarantine right now, ready to sink your teeth into some badass anime. Breakdown of how these reviews work. I look for three different things when going into an anime. As number one is animation, number two is story, and number three is likable characters. I give you a rating 1 through 10. I'll let you know if the story ends, it is a good ending, and do I want more of this anime in the future. I'll give you a review on the one I just watched called God Eater. This anime takes place in the distant future in the Far East, and what these scientists have discovered is this thing called an oracle cell. So this oracle cell has unexpectedly mutated and created these beasts called origami. So origami, they roam the earth and they kill and eat human beings. So the humans don't have any really weapons against these beasts, so they're pretty much fought off to almost extinction. And what they do is they create these weapons called God Arcs. These God Arc weapons are Oracle Cell based weapons, and they infuse this Oracle Cell into human beings with specific DNA. So if the DNA matches with the Oracle Cell, they're able to wield God Arcs and become God Eaters. The reason why they're called God Eaters is because basically these weapons are living things. They're living mini origamis in these weapons, and they help them kill the large origamis that are out there in the world. And not only kill them, but they devour their energy heart thing. And that makes you a God Eater. The anime follows this person called Lenka Utsugi. He is the main character through this entire series, and it just focuses on his personal story on how he became a God Eater in the first place and how he wants to become a better God Eater. I think he's a strong character. I think he has something to prove. He has a traumatized past that definitely propels him forward. But I think what kind of outshines him a little bit through this is the side characters that they introduce. I found myself wanting to know a little bit more about the side characters like Lindo, Soma, Koda, everybody that's close to him in the series. I wanted to know more about their stories rather than Lenka's. And I think that happens in some series, and I think that's a good and bad issue. Looking at the three main things that I look at, which is animation, story, and likable characters, let's delve into the animation. I think the animation is probably one of the series' strong suits here. Overall, I think the animation is pretty top notch comparing to the animation that they have already, and then they mix in the 3D animation for the origami. I think that's a good combination. It makes the origami pop a little bit more, make them feel more exotic and dangerous. As for the animation itself, I think this one's a little bit unique because it feels almost unfinished, and I think that's the style that they were trying to portray here, and it makes it seem like this anime stands out more than others because of the animation. So looking at number two on my list is the story. I think the story is decent enough to stand up on its own legs. I don't think it's anything special. It feels like they took a lot of parts from different types of animes. I think the story is kind of almost recycled at a point because it feels like Attack on Titan. There's like a combination of multiple different animes in this one anime to make it like its own unique story. And I don't know how long God Eater has been around, but overall, it just seems like they pieced together a lot of elements from other animes that were successful. And I think the story is good. I think that it could have been better if they concentrated more on what's going on with the world. They do have flashbacks to understand on how everything started, but it doesn't really concentrate on those characters that are still around from when the origami was first released to what they're trying to do with the sanctuary of humankind now and what the issue is now. So I think they were leading up to this, going into the final episodes of the series, but overall the story it's decent. And that goes into our third thing that we are going to take a look at, which is likable characters. And I said previously that there are some side characters that they introduced that were more intriguing than the actual main character himself. And the two favorite characters of mine throughout this series were Soma and Lindo, and I think their characters are really badass, and I think there's a lot more to those characters that they can get into. But overall, I think this anime does have the likable characters needed to get attached to these characters. And I know it's a short series, it's only 13 episodes long. Having said that, I think they did a good job adding the likable characters, adding the side characters that were strong, so you get at least a little bit of attachment before the series ends. And I think that leads to our last subjects here is, does the story end? And I would have to say it ends on a good note for the first season, but the story is not finished. And does it have potential of having more seasons? And this aired in 2015. I haven't seen anything saying that there's an official season 2 yet. I see some rumors online that there might be one announced, but it's been years since the first one released, and I think we would have learned or had a second season by now. The way it ended, I am okay with, but I would really love to see how this all ends with the characters they introduced in this first season. That comes to my final rating of this anime as a 8.1 out of 10. Tell me what you guys thought of God Eater if you've seen it. If you guys are fans of God Eater, is the video game even good? Please comment and subscribe below, and I'll catch you next time.